The acrid smoke from destroyed attack drones filled the air as Marcus Chen navigated through the wreckage of what had once been mining station Omega-7. His boots crunched over scattered metal fragments and crystallized coolant, the sound echoing in the eerie silence that followed the devastating raid. The Vekhari had hit them without warning, their hunter packs overwhelming the station's defenses in minutes. "Anyone out there?" Marcus called into his unit, adjusting the strap of his salvaged plasma cutter. The tool hummed against his back. One of the few operational pieces of equipment he'd managed to recover. Static was his only answer. The electromagnetic pulse from the Vekhari ships had fried most of their communication systems. "Before we jump back in, tell us where you're tuning in from, and if this story touches you, make sure you're subscribed, because tomorrow I've saved something extra special for you." The attack had been swift and brutal. The Vekhari were known throughout the galaxy as apex predators, their society built entirely around the hunt. They didn't conquer for resources or territory, they hunted for sport, for honor, for the thrill of proving their superiority over other species. And today, mining station Omega-7 had become their latest hunting ground. Marcus checked his environmental scanner, nothing but interference and ghost readings. He'd been in the lower maintenance tunnels when the attack began, probably the only reason he was still breathing. From what he could tell, he might be the only survivor from the 300 souls who'd called this remote mining outpost home. A metallic scraping sound made him freeze. Marcus dropped into a crouch behind a twisted support beam, his hand moving to the plasma cutter. Through the settling dust and smoke, he caught movement. A figure emerging from the shadows of a collapsed corridor. It was a Vekhari warrior, but something was wrong. Instead of the proud, predatory grace he'd seen in the intelligence briefings, this one moved with obvious difficulty. Her midnight black combat armor, adorned with trophies from countless hunts, was cracked and sparking. Purple blood, their blood, he remembered from the xenobiology reports, seeped from multiple wounds. She was tall, even by Vekhari standards, probably close to 7 feet. Her skin had the distinctive silver-blue coloration of her species, marked with intricate scarification patterns that told the story of her hunts. Long white hair, braided with small bones and metal rings, hung over one shoulder. But it was her eyes that caught Marcus's attention, 4 of them, arranged in a diamond pattern, all flickering between their normal crimson and a duller pink. That suggested serious injury. The Vekhari warrior stumbled, catching herself against a broken console. Her breathing was labored, each exhale producing a low growl that would have been terrifying if she wasn't so obviously hurt. One of her primary arms hung useless at her side, while her secondary arms, smaller but no less deadly, clutched at her midsection. Marcus knew he should run. Every human who'd encountered the Vekhari in combat was dead. They were faster, stronger, and had senses that made hiding nearly impossible. But something made him hesitate. Maybe it was the way she kept looking over her shoulder, not like a hunter but like prey. Maybe it was the very human way she winced with each movement. Preparing and narrating this story took us a lot of time, so if you are enjoying it, like this video, it means a lot to us. Now back to the story. "Traitor," she hissed and accented. Standard, apparently talking to herself. "Weakling. Should have died with honor rather than..." She coughed, purple blood spattering the floor. That's when Marcus noticed the blast marks on her back weren't from human weapons. The energy signature was distinctly Vekhari. She'd been shot by her own kind. Before he could decide what to do, her enhanced senses detected him. All 4 eyes snapped to his hiding spot, and despite her injuries, she moved with frightening speed. In seconds, she had him pinned against the wall, one clawed hand around his throat. "Human," she snarled, her grip tightening. "You will tell me where..." Double quote. Her eyes flickered, the grip loosening. "Where they..." She swayed, her massive frame suddenly unsteady. Then the feared Vekhari warrior, terror of a dozen star systems, fainted. She collapsed forward, and Marcus barely managed to catch her before she hit the ground. Even wounded and unconscious, she was heavier than she looked, dense muscle and reinforced bone structure that spoke of a species evolved for combat. "Great," Marcus muttered, looking down at the unconscious alien predator in his arms. "Just great." His moral compass won. He couldn't just leave her here, even if she was the enemy. Using techniques learned from years of moving heavy mining equipment, Marcus managed to drag her to a nearby storage room that still had intact walls and a functioning door. It wasn't much, but it would provide cover while he figured out what to do. The medical scanner he found in an emergency kit confirmed what he suspected. She was in bad shape. Multiple plasma burns, internal injuries, and something his scanner couldn't quite identify but labeled as severe neurological trauma. Whatever her own kind had done to her, they'd meant for her to die slowly and painfully. Marcus worked with what he had, applying emergency medical gel to the worst of her external wounds. Human medical supplies on a Vekhari warrior was probably not ideal, but it was better than nothing. As he worked, he couldn't help but notice details about her that the intelligence reports had missed. Like the small charm woven into one of her braids, definitely not Vekhari design, almost delicate. Or the way her scarification patterns included what looked like stellar coordinates, trophy marks, or something else. She came to suddenly, all four eyes snapping open at once. Marcus barely dodged the clawed swipe that followed, scrambling backward. As she surged to her feet despite her injuries, "Easy," he said, hands raised. "I'm trying to help." She looked around wildly, taking in the storage room, her bandaged wounds, and the human standing before her with his hands up. Confusion flickered across her features. "You ... She started, then switched to heavily accented standard. "You treated my wounds. Why?" "Seemed like the right thing to do," Marcus replied, keeping his voice calm. "You were hurt. I helped. Simple as that." All four eyes narrowed. "Humans do not help, Vekhari. We are enemies. I have hunted your kind across 3 systems." "Yeah. Well, I'm not much for holding grudges against unconscious people," Marcus said. "Besides, looks like your own kind did this to you. Enemy of my enemy and all that." She was silent for a long moment, studying him with those unnerving 4 eyes. Then she laughed, a sound like grinding metal that he assumed was amusement. "You are either very brave or very stupid, human, Marcus," he corrected. "My name is Marcus Chen, and you are?" She hesitated, clearly weighing whether to answer. "I am Zarakis, 4th Blade of the Crimson Hunt. Former 4th Blade," she corrected, touching one of the wounds on her back. "I am now nothing, an exile, a traitor to my pack." "What did you do?" Marcus asked, genuinely curious. "Must have been pretty bad for them to try to kill you." Zarakis bared her teeth, all of them sharp, he noted with some alarm. I questioned. I wondered if perhaps there was more to existence than the eternal hunt. If perhaps ... She shook her head. "It matters. Not. I am dead to my people now." An explosion in the distance shook the room. Both of them tensed, Marcus reaching for his plasma cutter, while Zarakis instinctively dropped into a combat crouch despite her injuries. "Your people are still hunting," she observed. "They will sweep the station for survivors. Standard pattern. They will be here within the hour." "Then we need to move," Marcus said. "There's an old shuttle in Bay 3. Damaged but fixable. If we can get to it, ... We?" All 4 eyes focused on him with predatory intensity. "Unless you've got a better plan?" "You're in no shape to fight your way out alone, and I'm definitely not surviving a Vekhari hunting pack solo. Like it or not, we need each other." She considered this, her alien features unreadable. Then she nodded slowly. "Very well, Marcus Chen. But know this, if you betray me, I will kill you in ways your species has not yet imagined. Noted, Marcus said dryly. Can you walk? She pushed herself up, swaying slightly but remaining upright through sheer will. I am Vekhari. I can do what must be done. They made their way through the destroyed station, an unlikely pair, a human engineer and an alien warrior who should have been trying to kill each other. Zarakis moved with carefully controlled grace, her injuries hidden beneath a veneer of predatory confidence. Marcus found himself impressed despite everything. Tell me, she said as they navigated a collapsed corridor, why did you truly help me? Your species is known for ... What is the word ... Compartmentalizing. You could have simply let me die. Marcus considered the question. I guess I figured anyone shot in the back by their own people couldn't be all bad. Plus, he added with a slight grin, I've always been a sucker for strays. Strays? She tested the unfamiliar word. Lost creatures that need help. Back on Earth, I used to volunteer at animal shelters. Places where we care for abandoned pets. All four eyes blinked in sequence, a gesture he was beginning to recognize as confusion. Pets? You mean food animals? No, companion animals. Dogs. Cats, that sort of thing. Creatures we keep for companionship, not consumption. Zarakis stopped walking entirely, turning to stare at him. You keep predators ... for companionship? Not for hunting partners or protection, but simply to have near you? Well, dogs were originally domesticated for hunting and protection. But yeah, now they're mostly just friends, family, even. She made that grinding sound again, definitely laughter. Your species is even stranger than the report suggested. Keeping predators as ... friends. She shook her head, white hair swaying. No Vekhari would understand such a thing. They reached a junction where Marcus had to access a maintenance panel. As he worked, he noticed Zarakis favoring her injured. Sighed more heavily. You need to rest, he said. We can hole up in the maintenance bay for a few minutes. I do not need rest, she growled. But when he led her into the small bay, she didn't protest too strongly. Marcus found an intact crate to sit on and pulled out his personal datapad, miraculously still functioning. While we're waiting, want to see what I mean about pets? See? She settled onto the floor with careful movements, her long legs folding beneath her in a way that reminded him oddly of a cat. I've got some videos saved on here. My sister sends them to me from Earth. She runs a dog rescue. He scrolled through his files, looking for something good. Here, this one's her newest rescue, a golden retriever puppy. He held out the datapad, and Zarakis leaned forward, all four eyes focusing on the small screen. The video showed a tiny golden puppy, maybe 8 weeks old, tumbling across a grassy yard, chasing a butterfly with clumsy determination. The change in Zarakis was instantaneous. All four eyes went wide, her pupils dilating to black circles. Her breathing quickened, and she made a sound he'd never heard from a Vekhari before, something between a gasp and a whimper. What is that creature? She whispered, reaching out with one clawed hand and then pulling back as if afraid to touch the screen. That's a puppy, a baby dog. It's so small, and those eyes, they're so ... She trailed off apparently, lacking the words. On screen, the puppy had given up on the butterfly and was now trying to carry a stick 3 times its size. Cute, Marcus suggested. I don't know this word, she breathed, never taking her eyes off the screen. But this creature, this ... puppy, it is a predator? Well, dogs are descended from wolves, so technically yes. But this little guy's biggest prey is probably his own tail. As if on cue, the puppy in the video noticed its tail and began spinning in circles trying to catch it. Zarakis made another strange sound, higher pitched this time. It hunts itself, she asked, and there was something like wonder in her voice. But why? There's no victory in catching one's own tail. It's playing. Young animals do that to learn. And have fun. Fun, She repeated the word slowly. Vekhari young do not play. They train. They fight. They learn to kill or be killed. All four eyes remained locked on the puppy, who had now discovered a ball and was attempting to pick it up with a mouth too small for the task. But this creature seems happy, despite being terrible at everything it attempts. That's kind of the point, Marcus said, watching her reaction with fascination. Dogs don't care if they're good at things. They just enjoy trying. The video continued, showing the puppy attempting to climb stairs that were clearly too big for it, finally succeeding with adorable determination. Zarakis' breathing had become increasingly rapid, and suddenly she swayed. I feel strange, she murmured. My hearts are beating irregularly. My neural pathways are. Her four eyes rolled back and she collapsed. Zara! Marcus caught her before she hit the ground, his datapad clattering away. He checked her vitals. Elevated heart rate, heart's rate, increased neural activity, but nothing that seemed immediately dangerous. It was almost like she'd been overwhelmed. She came to after only a few seconds, blinking all four eyes in sequence. What happened? You fainted, Marcus said, helping her sit up. I think the puppy video was too much for you. Impossible, she protested, but her voice was shaky. I am Vekhari. I have faced down charging Chronix beasts. I have hunted in the methane storms of Titan 9. I do not faint from viewing small predators. And yet, Marcus said, trying not to smile. She glared at him with all four eyes, then glanced at the datapad lying nearby. Perhaps I could view it again, to better understand this weakness so I can overcome it. Of course, Marcus said solemnly, handing her the device. For tactical purposes. Precisely. She cradled the datapad carefully in her clawed hands, restarting the video. This time she was prepared, but he still heard her breath catch when the puppy appeared on screen. Its fur looks so soft, she murmured. And those ears. They serve no purpose for hunting, yet they please me to observe. That's called cute aggression, Marcus explained. The overwhelming urge to squeeze something adorable. Humans get it too. Your species has a term for this? She looked at him with something like respect. Perhaps you are not as weak as we believed. To face such overwhelming sensations regularly and survive. Another explosion, closer this time, reminded them of their situation. Zarakis reluctantly handed back the datapad and stood, checking her weapons with practiced efficiency. We must move. But Marcus Chen, she paused, all four eyes meeting his too. When we escape this place, you will show me more of these ... puppies. Deal, Marcus agreed, shouldering his plasma cutter. I've got hundreds of videos. Kittens too, if you think you can handle them. Kittens? There was genuine alarm in her voice. There are more types of these creatures? Oh, Zara, Marcus grinned as they prepared to move out. You have no idea what you're in for. As they crept through the ruined station toward the shuttle bay, Marcus couldn't help but marvel at the situation. Here he was, sneaking through a destroyed mining station with a feared alien warrior who had just fainted from seeing a puppy video. The galaxy, he decided, was a much stranger place than anyone gave it credit for. The shuttle bay doors loomed before them, twisted and partially melted from the Vekhari assault. Marcus could hear the distant sounds of the hunting pack systematically searching the station. They were running out of time. The shuttle's on the far side, he whispered, pointing through the debris field that had once been Bay 3. If we can reach it without triggering any unexploded ordnance ... I smell them, Zarakis interrupted, her four eyes narrowing. My former pack, 3 hunters, moving in standard search pattern. They will be here in minutes. Marcus's mind raced. The shuttle needed at least 5 minutes of repairs before it would be spaceworthy, and that was being optimistic. Can you fight them? She flexed her clawed hands, testing her range of motion. The medical gel had helped, but she was still far from peak condition. 1, perhaps 3. She shook her head. Not in my current state. Then we need a distraction. Marcus pulled out his datapad, an idea forming. You said the puppy video overwhelmed you. What would it do to Vekhari Hoof? Never seen anything like it. All 4 eyes widened. You cannot be serious. Do you have a better idea? She was silent for a moment, then made that grinding laugh sound. You propose to defeat the galaxy's greatest hunters with videos of small Earth predators. This is either brilliance or madness. Little of both, probably. Marcus was already working on the bay's damaged display system. The massive holographic projectors used for departure schedules were partially functional, with some quick rewiring. There, I can route my datapad through the projection system. When they enter, they'll get a 20-foot-tall puppy. Zarakis watched him work with what might have been admiration. You are not like other humans I have hunted. I'll take that as a compliment. Now get to the shuttle and start the preflight. Sequence. I'll handle the distraction. And leave you to face 3 Vekhari hunters alone. I'll be fine. They'll be too busy dealing with extreme cuteness to notice one human. He paused. Actually, do you know if your people have any specific weaknesses I should know about? She hesitated, clearly torn between protecting her species' secrets and helping her unlikely ally. Our neural processing is highly efficient, but can be overloaded by certain stimuli. What your puppies did to me was not mere psychological reaction. Our brains literally cannot process something being both predator and ... harmless. It creates a feedback loop. Perfect. Go, I'll be right behind you. She moved toward the shuttle with predatory grace, despite her injuries, then paused. Marcus Chen, if you die, I will find your spirit in the afterlife and kill it again for making me feel feelings about small animals. Noted. Now go. Marcus finished his preparations just as the bay doors exploded inward. 3 Vekhari hunters entered in perfect formation, their armor pristine where Zarakis's was damaged, their weapons powered and ready. They were magnificent in their lethality, moving with the coordinated precision of apex predators who had never known defeat. The lead hunter, distinguished by more elaborate scarification, spoke in their harsh language. Marcus didn't understand the words, but the tone was clear. Surrender or die. Sorry, I don't speak Vekhari, Marcus called out, his finger hovering over the playback button. But I've got something you might want to see. He hit play. The warehouse, filled with the image of a golden retriever puppy, 20 feet tall and rendered in perfect holographic detail. The puppy was mid-bounce, its ears flopping, tongue lolling out in pure joy as it chased a butterfly across an impossibly green earth. Lawn. The effect was instantaneous. All 3 hunters froze, their weapons dropping slightly as 12 eyes locked onto the display. The lead hunter made a sound Marcus had never heard before, something between a battle cry and a squeak. The video continued. The giant puppy now attempting to climb stairs, failing, and trying again with adorable determination. One of the hunters dropped his plasma rifle entirely, taking an involuntary step forward. What sorcery is this? The lead hunter managed an accented standard, his voice strained. That's called a puppy, Marcus said, slowly backing toward the shuttle. A baby dog, completely harmless. Just wants to play and be loved. On screen, the puppy had discovered its own tail and began the spinning dance of futility. The second hunter made a choking sound and actually sat down hard on the deck, all 4 eyes dilated to maximum. Impossible, the leader gasped. It hunts itself, but with joy? This makes no sense. Want to see more? Marcus offered, cueing up another video. This one has multiple puppies. Multiple? The third hunter's voice cracked. The new video began, a basket full of husky puppies, all trying to climb out at once, tumbling over each other in fluffy chaos. The lead hunter swayed on his feet. The sitting hunter had begun making the strange humming noise. The third was backing away, as if from a threat, but unable to look away. "Their eyes," one whispered. "So large, so trusting. How can a predator have such eyes?" "They're bred to be companions," Marcus explained, continuing his careful retreat. "They just want to love and be loved. Here, watch this one." The next video showed a golden retriever gently playing with a human baby, carefully and patiently letting the infant grab its fur and ears. This proved too much. The lead hunter's eyes rolled back and he collapsed with a ground-shaking thud. The other two were not far behind, one clutching his chest where his hearts were presumably racing out of control, the other making small whimpering noises that would have been embarrassing from such a fierce warrior. Marcus ran. He reached the shuttle to find. Zarakis had not only started the preflight, but had already begun repairs to the damaged navigation system. "Did it work?" she asked without looking up. 3 heavily armed Vekhari warriors just got taken out by a basket of husky puppies. Marcus panted, sealing the hatch behind him. "So yeah, I'd say it worked." She made that grinding laugh again. "My people will never live this down." The mighty Vekhari, defeated by... She paused, all 4 eyes growing distant, by small fluffy things with oversized paws. "Hey, no shame in it. I've seen grown humans cry over puppy videos." Marcus threw himself into the pilot's seat, running through the launch sequence, though usually not because their brains literally couldn't process the cuteness. The shuttle's engines roared to life just as Marcus heard pounding on the outer hull. Through the viewport, he could see more Vekhari warriors arriving, drawn by their fallen comrades' distress signals. "Can this vessel achieve orbit?" Zarakis asked, strapping herself into the oversized co-pilot seat. "One way to find out." Marcus engaged the thrusters, and the shuttle lurched upward, smashing through the damaged bay doors and into the star-filled void beyond. For several minutes, neither spoke as Marcus fought to keep the damaged shuttle on course. Zarakis worked the navigation system with surprising skill, plotting a course away from both Vekhari space and human territories. "So," Marcus finally said as they cleared the planet's gravity well, "where to?" "I cannot return to my people," she said quietly. "And you cannot harbor a Vekhari without facing execution as a traitor. Then we find somewhere else. The galaxy's a big place." He glanced at her. "Besides, we make a pretty good team. You've got the combat skills, I've got the puppy videos." All 4 eyes fixed on him. "You would continue to travel with me, even knowing what I am, what I've done." "Hey, you're not that person anymore. Anyone who faints at puppy videos can't be all bad." He grinned. "Plus, I'm curious to see what happens when you discover kittens. These kittens you mentioned." She shifted uncomfortably. "They are worse than puppies?" "Different. Kittens are baby cats. They're tiny, fluffy, and have these huge eyes. They make little mewing sounds and like to pounce on things." He pulled up a video on the shuttle's display. "Want to see?" "No." She held up all 4 hands. "Not while I'm operating navigation systems. Your Earth creatures are clearly weaponized cuteness." "I must build tolerance slowly," Marcus laughed. "Fair enough. Though I should warn you, I've got videos of baby otters too. And red pandas. Oh, and wait until you see what a baby elephant does with its trunk." "Stop," she groaned. "My neural pathways are still recovering from the puppies." "How does your species function with such creatures on your planet?" "Honestly, sometimes we don't. There's a reason people spend hours watching animal videos instead of working." He adjusted their course slightly. "Though I have to ask, how did your people never encounter cute animals before? There must be something adorable somewhere in Vekhari space." Zarakis was quiet for a long moment. Perhaps there were once. But Vekhari culture values only strength, only the hunt. Anything weak or cute would be eliminated or ignored. We are not taught to see beauty in helplessness. "That's sad, is it?" She tilted her head, considering. I would have said it was strength, but now ... She gestured at the starfield before them. Now I wonder what else we have missed in our eternal hunt for dominance. They flew in companionable. Silence for a while. The damaged shuttle holding together through a combination of hasty repairs and sheer luck. Finally Zarakis spoke again. Tell me about these shelters you mentioned. Places where humans care for abandoned animals. Marcus smiled. Well, they're buildings where people take care of animals that don't have homes. Feed them, give them medical care, help them find families who will love them. You use resources to care for creatures that provide no benefit? No hunting assistance, no protection? The benefit is joy, Marcus explained. Companionship, love. Sometimes that's worth more than any practical advantage. She made a thoughtful humming sound. Your species is strange, Marcus Chen, but perhaps. That is not the weakness we thought it was. An alarm suddenly blared. Marcus checked the sensors and cursed. Company, looks like a Vekhari interceptor, coming in fast. Zarakis studied the readings. It's the Bloodclaw, my former mentor's ship. Her voice was carefully neutral. He will not accept my survival. Can we outrun them? In this damaged shuttle, no. She was already checking weapon systems, finding them predictably minimal. But perhaps we don't need to. What are you thinking? All four eyes gleamed with mischief. Open a communication channel. And prepare your most potent puppy video. Marcus grinned. I like the way you think. He opened the channel, immediately hearing harsh Vekhari voices demanding surrender. This is human engineer Marcus Chen. I have something you need to see. He didn't wait for a response, instead broadcasting directly to their main view screen. This time, he went for maximum impact. A compilation video of puppies, kittens, and baby bunnies, all set to cheerful music that the Vekhari ship's acceleration faltered. Over the comm, Marcus could hear sounds of confusion, then distress. Someone was hyperventilating. Someone else was making that strange whimpering noise. Now, Zarakis said, taking the controls. She pushed their damaged shuttle into a desperate dive just as the Vekhari interceptor wobbled off course, its pilot presumably overwhelmed by the sight of a kitten playing with a ball of yarn. They slipped past the larger ship and made the jump to hyperspace. Just as Marcus heard what sounded suspiciously like the entire bridge crew of the interceptor fainting in unison. That, Zarakis announced as stars streaked past the viewport, was deeply satisfying. Your mentor's going to be pissed when he wakes up. Let him be. He cast me out for questioning our ways. Now he has been defeated by... She paused, savoring the words. By baby animals of Earth. The humiliation will be legendary. Marcus laughed. So where are we heading? There is a neutral station in the Veridon system. A place where species mingle without killing each other. Mostly. She glanced at him. We can resupply there, decide our next move. Sounds good. He pulled up his datapad. Want to watch more videos on the way? I've got one of a puppy meeting. A butterfly that made my sister cry for an hour. Zarakis was silent for a moment, then nodded slowly. Yes, but start with something less intense. My hearts are still recovering. How about a sleeping puppy? Just breathing softly, no movement. That sounds ... acceptable. She moved closer to see the screen better. Though I fail to see how a sleeping creature could ... Oh no. Its tiny paws are twitching. Is it dreaming? Probably dreaming about chasing something. It hunts in its sleep? Her voice rose an octave. But with such peaceful expression, how is this possible? Marcus Chen, your Earth creatures are going to kill me. But what a way to go, right? She glared at him with all four eyes, but there was warmth in it. When I left my pack, I thought I would die alone in space. Instead, I find myself fleeing in a stolen shuttle with a human who defeats my people's greatest warriors with videos of infant predators. Life's funny that way, indeed. She settled back to watch the sleeping puppy, her massive frame relaxing incrementally. Marcus Chen? Yeah? Thank you for saving me. For showing me there is more to existence than the hunt. Thank you for not killing me when you woke up, he replied. And for being open to new experiences. Even if they do make you faint. I did not faint, she protested. I experienced a temporary neural overload due to unprecedented sensory input. You fainted. Neural overload from puppies. She was quiet for a moment. Then, show me the one with the butterfly. Marcus grinned and pulled up the video. As they hurtled through hyperspace toward an uncertain future, a human and a Vekhari warrior watched puppy videos together, and the galaxy became just a little bit stranger and more wonderful. Oh no, Zarakis whimpered as the puppy pounced at the butterfly and missed. It's so determined yet so incompetent. This is unbearable. Play it again. Outside the viewport, stars streaked by in lines of light, carrying them toward whatever adventure awaited. But inside the small shuttle, there was only the sound of a fierce alien warrior cooing over Earth's most powerful weapons. Adorable. Baby animals. The neutral station would be their first stop, but Marcus was already thinking beyond that. The galaxy was full of beings who had never experienced the pure joy of watching a kitten chase, a laser pointer, or a puppy discovering snow for the first time. Maybe that was their purpose now, spreading the gospel of cute throughout the cosmos. Marcus, Zarakis said suddenly, what is that creature doing to that human's face? He looked at the screen where a puppy was enthusiastically licking a laughing child. Giving kisses, it's how dogs show affection. It's attacking them with its tongue? No, it's, you know what, just watch. She did, all four eyes wide with wonder. The human child seems to enjoy this assault, because it's not an assault. It's love. Love. She tested the word carefully. Yes, I think I understand. She paused. Do you have more videos like this? Thousands. Then our journey will be long indeed. She settled more comfortably in her seat. I find this acceptable. Marcus smiled, the galaxy's fiercest warrior, reduced to requesting puppy videos. He wondered what the Vekhari High Command would think if they could see her now. Then he decided he didn't care. They had their own path now, and it was paved with paw prints and purrs. Hey Zara, he said as the next video began to play. Yes? Ready. For baby penguins? Her groan echoed through the shuttle, but she didn't look away from the screen. And that, Marcus thought, was progress. The Veridin neutral station sprawled before them like a metallic flower blooming in space, its petals formed by docking arms from a dozen different architectural styles. Marcus guided their battered shuttle toward the designated visitor bay while Zarakis monitored communications. The docking authority wants to know our species classification for berthing assignment, she reported. What should I tell them? How about complicated? Marcus suggested, then more seriously, register us as independent traders. Less questions that way. Lying already? You learn quickly. She entered the information with deft claw strokes. Though I suppose we are trading in a way. Exchanging combat for whatever it is we're doing now. Spreading joy through strategic deployment of baby animals? That makes us sound insane. Aren't we? She considered this. Perhaps. But it's a preferable insanity to my people's eternal hunt. The docking clamps engaged with a gentle thud. Besides, I have not yet seen these baby elephants you mentioned. I cannot die until I understand how a trunk can be cute. They made an odd pair walking through the station's commerce district. Zarakis had modified her combat armor to be less overtly militaristic, but she still towered over most beings they passed. Her four eyes constantly scanned for threats while Marcus window shopped at the various alien merchants. You're making people nervous, he observed as a group of Altarian traders scurried past. Good. Nervous people are less likely to attack. She paused at a view screen showing station news. Though I notice they're also nervous of you. Me? I'm harmless. You're the human who tamed a Vekhari warrior. The story has already spread. She pointed at the newsfeed, where a blurry security image showed them boarding the station. The headline, translated into standard, read, Human Vekhari Alliance, New Threat or Impossible Peace? Great, we're famous. Marcus tugged her away from the screen. Come on, let's find supplies before someone decides to test how allied we really are. They were halfway to the supply depot when trouble found them. A group of Saurian mercenaries blocked their path, their scaled forms bristling with weapons and barely contained aggression. Vekhari, their leader hissed, forked tongue tasting the air. Your kind hunted my clutch brother for sport. His skull decorates one of your ships. Zarakis tensed, her hand moving instinctively toward where her weapons would normally be. Marcus stepped forward before violence could erupt. She's not with them anymore, he said calmly. She left all that behind. Once a hunter, always a hunter, another Saurian spat. And you, human, you ally with our enemies? I ally with individuals, not species. Marcus pulled out his datapad. And right now, you're about to start a fight in a neutral zone over old grievances. How about we try something different? The lead Saurian's eyes narrowed. You threaten us with that tiny device? Not a threat, just want to show you something. He pulled up a video and turned the screen toward them. This is what defeated 3 Vekhari warriors and made Zara here question everything she knew about strength. On screen, a golden retriever puppy tumbled across grass, chasing bubbles with joyful incompetence. The Saurians watched with skeptical expressions that slowly morphed into confusion. What? What is this creature? One asked, leaning closer despite himself. It's called a puppy, a baby earth canine. Completely harmless, just wants to play and make friends. The puppy on screen had discovered a mirror and was now barking at its own reflection, tail wagging furiously. One of the younger Saurians made a sound that might have been a laugh. It challenges itself to combat, he asked, but with such joy? Everything's a game to puppies, Marcus explained. Watch this. He switched to a video of a puppy trying to carry a stick 3 times its size. Through a doorway, repeatedly failing but never giving up. The Saurian's aggressive postures began to relax. Such determination, the leader murmured. Yet no anger at failure. How? Because the joy is in the trying, not the winning. Marcus glanced at Zarakis, who was watching the Saurians with fascination. That's what she learned. There's strength in joy, in play, in connection. Show them the one with multiple puppies, Zarakis suggested suddenly. The one that made me question reality. Marcus pulled up the basket of husky puppies. The effect was immediate. The lead Saurian's inner eyelids fluttered rapidly, their equivalent of being stunned. 2 others sat down hard on the deck. So many, one whispered, and they all trust so completely. Those eyes. By the sacred scales, another breathed. They single quotes read ... Adorable? Marcus supplied. I don't know this word, but yes, that. The leader seemed to shake himself. How do you humans function with such creatures? Do they hypnotize you for food? They're our companions. We take care of them. They love us unconditionally. Love, the Saurian tested the word. Without expectation of strength or service? Exactly. The Saurians exchanged glances, their body language completely transformed from moments before. The leader looked at Zarakis with new eyes. You left the Vekhari because of these creatures? They opened my eyes, she admitted. Made me realize there was more to life than hunting and dominance. That perhaps the greatest strength is knowing when not to fight. The leader was quiet for a long moment. Then he stepped aside, gesturing for them to pass. Go in peace, unusual allies. And human? Yeah? Do you have more of these videos? Marcus grinned. I've got hundreds, here. He transferred a collection to the Saurian's personal device. Start with the puppies, work your way up to kittens. And whatever you do, don't watch the baby otters until you're sitting down." They parted ways peacefully. The saurians huddled around their leader's device, making increasingly high-pitched sounds as they discovered Earth's arsenal of cuteness. "That was remarkable," Zarakis said as they continued toward the supply depot. "You defused a potentially lethal situation with infant canines. Starting to think we might be onto something here." Marcus paused at a vendor selling exotic foods. "Imagine if we could get these videos to all the aggressive species. Could change the whole galaxy. An ambitious goal." She selected some supplies with careful consideration. Though after seeing hardened saurian mercenaries reduced to cooing sounds, perhaps not impossible. They were loading their purchases when a small figure tugged at Marcus's sleeve. He looked down to find a young Phyrexian, their large nocturnal eyes even bigger than usual in the artificial light. "Excuse me," the child squeaked. "Are you the human with the magic creatures?" Marcus knelt to the child's level. "Magic creatures?" "The small fluffy ones that make warriors stop fighting. My parent heard from a trader who heard from a saurian that you have videos of impossible beings." "They're not impossible, just from Earth." Marcus glanced at the child's parent, who was watching nervously from nearby. "Would you like to see one?" The child nodded eagerly. Marcus pulled up a particularly gentle video, a golden retriever puppy sleeping, its belly rising and falling peacefully. The Phyrexian child's eyes somehow got even larger. "It's so peaceful," they whispered. "But it's a predator?" "A very sleepy predator," Marcus confirmed. "One that would rather cuddle than hunt." The child made a delighted chirping sound and ran back to their parent, chattering excitedly in their native language. The parent approached cautiously. "These creatures," they said, "they're real, completely real. Earth has millions of them. And they truly make warriors peaceful?" Zarakis stepped forward. "I am living proof. I was fourth blade of the Crimson Hunt. Now I spend my time watching videos of what humans call toe beans." "Toe beans?" The Phyrexian looked confused. "Don't ask," Marcus said quickly. "That's advanced level cute. You're not ready." Word spread through the station with remarkable speed. Within hours, Marcus found himself in an impromptu gathering in one of the common areas, surrounded by beings from a dozen different species, all clamoring to see the legendary Earth creatures. Okay, he said, connecting his datapad to the area's main display. "We'll start slow. This is a puppy. Please try to remain conscious." The reaction was everything he'd come to expect and more. Gasps, squeaks, clicks, and whistles filled the air as various species processed the sight of a clumsy golden retriever puppy in their own ways. A massive Kronex warrior made a sound like a broken engine and had to sit down. "Now," Marcus continued, feeling like a professor of cuteness, "this is what we call playing. The puppy isn't hunting or training. It's just having fun. Fun without purpose?" A skeptical Valdorian asked, "What evolutionary advantage does this serve?" "Joy is its own purpose," Zarakis answered. "This was the hardest lesson for me to learn. Not everything needs to serve. Survival." She moved to stand beside Marcus, addressing the crowd with the authority of someone who'd walked both paths. "I spent my life believing only in strength in the hunt. These creatures, puppies, kittens, what humans call baby animals, they showed me another way. They are vulnerable yet fearless. Weak yet beloved. They prove that sometimes the greatest power is the ability to inspire protection rather than fear." "Show them the kittens," someone called out. "Are you sure?" Marcus asked the crowd. "Kittens are exponentially more powerful than puppies. We are ready." Several voices answered. Marcus shrugged and pulled up a video of a tiny black kitten with huge green eyes, mewing for attention. The sound that went through the crowd was universal, despite the species differences. It was the sound of hearts melting across genetic boundaries. 3 beings fainted. 2 more had to lean against walls. The Chronix warrior was now lying flat on the floor, making happy rumbling sounds. "By all the stars," a Centaurian philosopher gasped. "It's so small, so perfect. How does your species resist the urge to protect all of them?" "We don't," Marcus admitted. "That's why we have animal shelters, rescue organizations, and people who dedicate their lives to caring for them." "Your entire civilization makes sense now," the philosopher declared. "You evolved alongside pure joy. No wonder humans are so confusingly optimistic." The session continued for hours. Marcus showed them cats playing with laser pointers. They chase like for fun. Dogs greeting their humans after long absences. Such pure loyalty. And eventually, at Zaraka's insistence, baby elephants playing with their trunks. "I was not prepared," she murmured, all 4 eyes dilated as a baby elephant tried to figure out how its trunk worked. "You warned me, but I was not prepared." By the end, Marcus had transferred his entire collection to the station's public database, with viewing warnings for those with sensitive neural systems. The crowd dispersed slowly, many still watching videos on personal devices, making sounds their species probably hadn't made in millennia. "You realize what you've done?" The station administrator, an elderly Altarian, approached them. "This station has never been more peaceful. The Saurians and Valdorians are sharing viewing devices. The Chronix warrior has started a discussion group about proper puppy appreciation techniques." "Is that bad?" Marcus asked. "Bad? It's miraculous." The administrator's feathers rustled with excitement. "We've had 3 trade disputes resolved because the parties were too busy watching kittens to argue. Do you know how much conflict these videos could prevent? We're starting to get that idea, yeah. I've already received inquiries from other stations. They want the Earth Creature database. Some are offering significant credits." Marcus looked at Zaraka. "What do you think? Should we spread the cuteness?" She made that grinding laugh sound. "A month ago, I would have conquered planets. Now I appear to be a missionary for small fluffy beings. Yes, spread them. Let the galaxy learn what I learned." The administrator hurried off to make arrangements, leaving them alone in the now quiet common area. Zaraka settled onto a bench designed for beings of her size, and Marcus joined her. "So," he said, "not bad for a day's work. We've possibly started a galaxy-wide revolution of cute." "My ancestors would be horrified," she mused. "Generations of warriors, and I'm the one who becomes known for fainting at puppy videos. Any regrets?" She considered this, then pulled out a personal device he'd helped her acquire. On the screen was a paused video of a kitten. "Only that I didn't discover them sooner, do you think? Do you think if my people had these videos when I was young, we might have been different? Maybe, but you can't change the past. Only the future." Wise words from the human who weaponized baby animals. "I prefer strategically deployed cuteness." They sat in comfortable silence for a moment. Then Zaraka spoke again. "I've been thinking. Your Earth must be remarkable to produce such creatures. Would it be possible to visit?" Marcus grinned. "Are you asking to come to Earth to see puppies in person? And kittens, and baby elephants, and these red pandas you keep threatening me with? I think that can be arranged. Fair warning though, in person, they're even more overwhelming. You might faint again, a risk I'm willing to take." She paused. "Do you think your people would accept a former Vekhari warrior who wants to visit animal shelters? Are you kidding? Once they hear your story, you'll be a celebrity. The alien warrior who gave up fighting because puppies were too cute. They'll make movies about you." "Movies?" "Moving pictures that tell stories. And before you ask, yes, there are entire movies. About dogs." She made a sound of disbelief. "Your species is remarkable. Insane, but remarkable." A soft chime indicated an incoming message. Marcus checked his device and laughed. It's from the Saurians we met earlier. They want to know if we have videos of baby reptiles. Do you? Baby turtles, lizards, even tiny snakes. The galaxy is not ready for such power. Too late. The revolution has begun. He stood, offering her a hand up. Come on, partner. Let's go spread some more joy. She took his hand, standing with that predatory grace that now seemed protective rather than threatening. Partner. Yes, I like that. As they walked back to their shuttle, Marcus's datapad chimed constantly with requests for more videos, offers of trade, and reports of spontaneous outbreaks of peace across the station. The mighty Vekhari Empire might have built their civilization on hunting and strength, but it was falling to something far more powerful, the overwhelming cuteness of Earth's baby animals. You know, Zaraka said as they reached their ship, when this story is told, they'll say a human and a Vekhari changed the galaxy with puppies and kittens. They'd be right. They'll think it's myth. Too impossible to be real. Marcus pulled up one last video on his pad, a puppy and kitten curled up together, sleeping peacefully. The best stories always are. Zarakas looked at the image, and her expression softened in a way that would have been impossible just days ago. Set course for Earth, Marcus Chen. I want to meet these creatures that conquered a conqueror. Aye, aye, Captain. He began the launch sequence. First stop, my sister's dog rescue. She's going to love you. Will there be puppies? Dozens. Then I go to my doom gladly. The shuttle lifted off from Vekhari Station, leaving behind a forever changed populace. Across the Commerce District, hardened warriors and merchants alike huddled around screens, watching Earth's small miracles with wonder. Trade disputes paused, old grudges were forgotten, and for a brief moment, the galaxy was united. In a single thought, how could anything be that cute? In the shuttle, Zarakis had already pulled up a puppy video on her personal device. Marcus, this one is trying to howl but can only squeak. Is it broken? No, just young. They learn to howl later. It's trying so hard. All four eyes were dilated. I must protect it. That's the spirit. As they entered hyperspace, Marcus reflected on the strange turn his life had taken. He'd started the day as a survivor of a vicious attack. Now he was traveling to Earth with an alien warrior who'd become an advocate for baby animals. The galaxy was indeed a strange place. Hey Zara. Mum. She didn't look up from the video. Ready to see what a corgi is. The sound she made could only be described as fear mixed with anticipation. My neural pathways have not recovered from the elephants. So that's a yes? Yes. Marcus smiled and set course for Earth. Behind them, the revolution continued to spread, one video at a time. The age of conquest was ending. The age of cute had begun.